morning students. So hope all are doing well. Last class we discussed about bacterial diseases, isn't it? So two bacterial diseases were covered. One was typhoid, which is caused by an organism called as Salmonella typhi, and the second one was your pneumonia, which was caused by what? Two organisms. One is Streptococcus pneumonia and the second one is Haemophilus influenzae. We discussed how it was spreading from one person to another. Typhoid, we saw it was contaminated food and water, and case of pneumonia, we saw it as droplet infection or aerosol or infected person's materials. If I am using, then I am likely to suffer. And then we discussed about the organ which is getting affected, how it is spreading. Then we discussed some of its symptoms. Then in typhoid we discussed the diagnostic test is called as what? The Vidal test. And in case of typhoid we also discussed one thing, that is Mary Mellon or typhoid Mary, isn't it? So today we are going to discuss about viral diseases, the second pathogen, and the second pathogen is the viral. And so the viral diseases, we are going to discuss three diseases, okay. So what are the three diseases? The common one which usually we suffer from, that is your common cold. The second one what we are going to discuss is your dengue fever, and thereafter the third one is chikungunya. Okay, so these are the diseases which we are going to deal today. So to start with common cold. Hope so that everyone is familiar with common cold. We have suffered from common cold, so you can have no doubts in writing the symptoms and all. It will be very easy, right? So common cold, when you are seeing the causative organism, it is caused by a virus called as Rhinovirus. What is the virus? A group of virus called as Rhinovirus. Okay. So Rhinovirus is the one who is causing the common cold. And when you are seeing which part of my organ is affected, it is the nasal epithelium and the respiratory tract, which means nasal epithelium, it will be moving into your larynx, trachea, but it will not enter into the lungs. So till that regions, when you are seeing the respiratory passage, not into the lungs, till before the lungs, you can find the area is getting infected in case if you are having common cold caused by this virus called as what? The rhinoviruses. Okay. So it is affecting which part of my body? The nasal epithelium. It infects, the virus is infecting the nasal epithelium and the respiratory passage, but not the lungs. That is very important thing. And when you are seeing how long can the symptoms of this common cold last, how long this disease can last in my body, it can last about, for some, if the immune system is so good, 3 days. Others, it can last up to a week, that is about 7 days. Okay, so this is 3 to 7 days. It's the symptoms may persist in an individual who is suffering from this common cold. Okay, and then it spreads through. You know how it is spreading through. If you are sitting beside a through droplet infection, shared items. Again, since it is somewhat airborne, you can find through the droplet infection can spread, or the person who is having common cold, the same infected person's items if you are using, like the pen or the pencil or the handkerchief or the cloth or the towel, all these things, in case if you are using it, then there are chances for spreading from one person to another. Cough, sneezing. So through that you can find this common cold is spreading from one person to another. Okay. So in this common cold, the one thing what you have to remember mostly, the rest all you can write down, I think. So it is not affecting your lungs. That is very important. Second thing is that it is caused by a virus called as what? The rhinovirus. Okay. Next we are moving on to the next disease called as dengue. As well as this chikungunya we are seeing, they are transmitted by a vector. Okay, it's a disease which is caused by a virus. So causative organism is a virus. But who is spreading the disease from one person to another? It is a vector. So what is a vector? Vector. Okay, vector means what is a vector? You should know. Okay. So vector is an organism which is taking the germs from one person and giving it to the other person. Okay. So carrying means they are taking the infected blood or the infected thing and they are spreading into the healthy person. So the one who is acting as an intermediate way, then we call them as what? The vector. Like for example, mosquito. These two dengue as well as chikungunya is caused by a vector, spread by a vector called as what? Aedes mosquito. A-E-D-E-S. So what is the name of the mosquito? It is A-E-D-E-S. Aedes mosquito. Aedes aegypti is the one who is causing this one. So this Aedes mosquito is the one who is going and biting the infected person and again going and biting the healthy person. So from the infected person, the virus is transferred into the healthy person. Understood? So like that, the disease is spreading from one person to another. Both the diseases, that is dengue and chikungunya. For this dengue, when you are saying there is no treatment available, so only thing is that you have to take a lot of rest, and as well as you have to drink a lot of fluids. Okay, so body will be short of fluids, so you have to drink a lot of water, juices, so that the fluid balance is maintained in your body, and you have to take proper rest. So by that, vaccination and all is not available. So medicines, the casual medicines what they give for fever, like that only they will be giving. So gradually by rest as well as like corona and all, like rest as well as by taking a lot of fluids, you can fight this dengue. Okay. So dengue is caused by a virus called as flavivirus. So what is the virus name? Positive organism for dengue is a virus. What is the name of the virus? Flavivirus. So what is the name of the virus? Flavivirus. Okay. So dengue is transmitted by the bite of a mosquito infected with the dengue virus. That is the flavivirus. If it is infected, a person is infected, so the mosquito is taking the same. So bite of mosquito is causing it. Okay. It is illness which is affecting, okay, that affects the infants, young children and adults with symptoms appearing 3 to 14 days after the infection bite, which means its incubation period. How long it will take for the symptoms to appear? Maybe today you have bite with this virus, some Aedes mosquito has come and bitten me. Okay, I may not see for the symptom today itself. It can last, means after 3 days maybe I am having the symptoms, or even after 14 days also I can have the symptoms. So its incubation period, when you are seeing, it's around 3 to 14 days. Okay, so that is what we call it as incubation period. So from the entry of the virus or from the entry of the pathogen to the first symptoms it is appearing. So that period what we call them as the incubation period. Okay, so this virus incubation period, when you are seeing, it's around 3 to 14 days. So this is regarding another thing. As I have already told you, there is no special vaccine available to treat dengue. So only one thing is you have to do. People who have dengue fever should eat and drink plenty of fluids. So that's all regarding the discussion for dengue. It is given. High fever and all will be there. Symptoms, moving on to the symptoms which is to be given. One is high fever. You will have very high fever like typhoid we discussed here also. Severe headache, too much of headache. Pain behind the eyes, important, different from others diseases. So you just note down this one. Pain behind the eyes, as if you are having a sternus pain behind the eyes. Okay, so that is the next step. You have muscles as well as your joints are aching, means it's you have muscle and joint pain. Okay, at last you can find severe cases, some rashes starts developing on your body. So these are the symptoms of your dengue fever. So what are the symptoms we discussed? High fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle and joint pains, rashes. Okay, so these are the symptoms. If you are suffering from dengue, then you can see all these symptoms in your body. Okay, so this is regarding the dengue. So dengue is caused by what virus? It is flavivirus, isn't it? And who is the one who is transmitting? It's not the food, it's not the water, it's not the contaminated thing. It is being transmitted by a bite of a vector. So who is the vector here? It is a mosquito. What is the name of the mosquito? It is Aedes mosquito. Okay, and this mosquito, when you are seeing, is transmitting the disease from an infected person to the healthy person. And when you see, what is any vaccines are available? No. How to overcome it? Proper rest and taking proper fluids. Okay, so this is regarding it. And symptoms, when you are seeing, again, headache, high fever, pain behind your eyes. Thereafter you have muscle and joint pains, rashes starts developing in your body at later stages. Okay, proper care is not taken. So that is regarding your dengue fever. Now we are moving on to the last viral disease what we are going to discuss is your chikungunya. Okay, so chikungunya, when you are saying, this you would have here. Again, this is also caused by a virus. Name of the virus itself is chikungunya virus. Okay, so not different one, chikungunya virus. Now how it is transmitted? Again, the chikungunya virus, as I already told you, it is transmitted by the bite of a vector, the mosquito. The name of the mosquito is Aedes aegypti. Okay, so Aedes aegypti is causing the infection to spread from one person to that of the another. This chikungunya virus is transmitted from a infected person to the healthy person with the help of this Aedes mosquito. It is being transmitted. Okay. Then the best means of prevention is obviously to control the vector. Means if there are mosquito breeding places nearby and someone is suffering from this chikungunya and all, their immediate measures has to be taken to get rid of the mosquito. So what has to be done? Obviously the community or the panchayat or the government bodies should take care that they are coming and they are giving that mosquito repellent spraying all over this area, like stagnant water drains, wherever stagnant waters are there, that has to be checked properly so that there is no breeding of mosquitoes taking place and mosquitoes are kept under control, or it's being eradicated from that place so that it is not spreading from one person to another. Okay. So is overall mosquito control and avoidance of bites by any infected mosquito. So that is the way by which you can prevent yourself from this chikungunya. There again, there is no specific treatment means the treatment is not available like fever. You have to take rest, you have to take proper food so that you gain your immunity to fight against the virus, and thereafter you can substitute or reduce your symptoms gradually. Okay, so that is regarding your chikungunya. Now moving on to the symptoms. The first symptoms is fever up to 104 degree Fahrenheit. So you know normal is 98, 97, 98. 104 degree Fahrenheit. So that the temperature can go. Severe joint pain. You have a severe what? Your joint pain. Muscle pain is there. Headache. Nausea. Nausea, you know, means you feel like vomiting. Something is being stuck here and you feel like vomiting it out. Okay. So there is nausea. Fatigue. You feel tired. Okay. So that is another one. And again you have rashes in case of chikungunya. So chikungunya, I will say again. Who is causing this chikungunya? It is caused by chikungunya virus. Who is the one who is spreading it? It is a vector. So what is the name of the vector? The name of the vector is Aedes aegypti, which is a mosquito. So it's spreading from an infected person to a healthy person. And how to prevent this one? You have to take care of the mosquito breeding places and to eliminate these mosquitoes from those places. For that, measures has to be taken so that mosquito breeding is prevented. Mosquito is not growing much there. Okay. And the next is that whether do you have any treatment for the same vaccines like that? No. So what have to be done? You have to take proper rest with proper food and water. Okay. And last, when you are seeing what are the symptoms which you see when a person is suffering from chikungunya, high fever up to 104 degree Fahrenheit. Then you have severe joint pain, muscle pain, rashes will be developing, headache, nausea and fatigue. So these are the things. So mostly if you are reading the chapter, you will get all these points which are being discussed. Some of the topics are not there in your book, but whatever I am dealing, it is there in your syllabus. Okay. So please make sure that it was later added, but it is not currently available in your book. Okay. So please make sure that whatever I am dealing, you are making the notes of the same and you are sending to it immediately the day itself when the chapter has been or the topic has been covered. Okay. So let's go for just a small recap till what we have learned till today. Okay. From the beginning. So we are starting with human health and diseases. First we discussed about health. What is health? State of complete physical, mental and social well-being. What is disease? Any condition which interferes with normal functioning of our body. Then we discussed about two types of diseases. What were they? Infectious and non-infectious. Then we discussed about the types of pathogens which are causing different diseases. Bacteria, virus, protozoa, fungi and helminthic. Then we discussed about bacterial diseases. First we discussed about typhoid. In that we discussed mainly about Vidal test and Vehri-Malon. Causative organism is Salmonella typhi. Symptoms, mode of transmission, all you have to learn. Okay. And then moving on to the next bacterial disease, what we discussed is pneumonia. So hope so pneumonia, two organisms were there. Haemophilus influenzae and Streptococcus pneumoniae. And the symptoms, how it is spreading, which part is affected, that has to be learned. Moving on to today's topic, what was that? It was viral diseases. 3 viral diseases we discussed. What are the 3 viral diseases? Number 1 is your common cold. Second is your dengue fever. Third is your chikungunya. Common cold through aerosol, droplet infection, sneezing. It spreads from one person to another or by using the contaminated object of that person, infected person, a healthy person using it spreads. Who is the virus who is causing it? It is your rhinoviruses, isn't it? And then dengue is caused by flavivirus, and who is helping in spreading the disease? It is a mosquito. It is a vector. What is that name? Aedes mosquito. Chikungunya is also caused by Aedes mosquito. Okay. And when you are saying both the cases, treatment is not available. Severe high fever may be there. So what you have to do? You have to reduce your fever. Along with that, you have to take proper rest, proper diet, and proper water. Means fluids has to be balanced. Okay. So this is how you can get rid of these diseases. Symptoms gradually disappear if treated properly, if diagnosed and treated properly. So with this, we are winding up for today. So till now we have discussed about viral and bacterial diseases. In the next class we will be discussing about a very important topic, that is your malaria, which is caused by a protozoa. Okay, so that's all for today. Hope you are having a good vacation. Do keep learning. Enjoy.